So first thing we're going to do today, we're going to talk about why we're all here, but we're going to focus this conversation on futures trading. Who here has taken a payout from a prop firm so far in the future space? Awesome, like half the room. So what that tells me is that those of you that did not just raise your hand for a payout need to go talk to those people who did. Part of being at this event is networking, meeting new people, people you might be friends with for a long time. I've met some of you at conferences, and you've been my friend. You've been here for 2 years, 3 years. So take advantage of that. Now, let's get into it, and then we're going to get into trading. First, got to give a sponsor. Shout out to our 3 top 1 futures, TradeZella, and Bookmap, because without them, this definitely would not be possible, or at least I'd be losing money on the event if it wasn't for them. So got to give them a lot of love. We're going to do independent sessions over the next 2 days on TradeZella and Bookmap. Who here uses TradeZella right now? Okay, a third of the room. Who is using Bookmap right now? Awesome. Same, another third of the room. Who wants to use Bookmap after this seminar already? Cool, you're going to love it. Who is skeptical about using TradeZella because they don't want to spend 10 minutes a day journaling their trades? Be honest. Okay. So if you're not using TradeZella, hopefully by the end of this, you're using that as well. Let's go through a couple of questions before we get started. Like I said, who's taken at least one payout? Put your hand up again one more time. If your hand is not up, look at these people. Hold it high. Proud. Hand up. Come on. These are the people you want to speak. Yeah, double hand up. Yep. Who's still negative overall in their trading business? Be honest. We've all been negative. Most of us for longer than we like. Okay, good. Whoop. Who's made over $25,000 so far this year, or in prop firm payouts in general? Nice. Okay, so that group back there, hang out with them. But this is the best question. Who believes that this year is going to be their most profitable year yet? One yell, the rest of you were like slow. I said, who believes this is going to be the most profitable year they've ever had? You're like, oh, look at Austin, the bar mitzvah DJ, getting me all riled up. I'm being serious, guys. This is probably one of the most important slides in the entire 2 days. Belief is at the foundation of any success that you'll find in life. Who agrees with that? Can I get a yes? Okay. You can clap. We can snap. I want the interaction. I want you to feel me, and if you don't feel me, I want you to tell me, okay? I'm going to talk about myself for a second, and then we're going to come back to belief. Most of you know who I am. I've been running the podcast for a while. Most people know us through there. But I also have had this education business since 2019, teaching people how to trade, running seminars. At one point, we were selling courses. Now we do our live streams. I'm very proud of that. That's basically all I care about, right? When people have left the Black Shirt Club, what do I say? Just leave me a good review. I don't need you to keep paying me. Leave me a good review if I delivered, right? So that's super important to me. If you have not checked out the podcast, let me ask you this. Who has listened to an episode of the podcast? Is everyone in here? Okay, cool. So you already know. Dope. Love that. But this is where I started, kind of. So that, I know, doesn't look like me. There's no beard. I look way more professional in that picture than I probably do today. Cut, glasses, the whole thing. This was in an apartment that I lived in back in New Jersey. This was the year I dropped out of college to commit to trading. I was still working as a DJ, but this was when it all started. You can see there's candlesticks on here. There's somebody looking at their phone sitting right here, my buddy Kevin. So like, even here, I was still trying to teach people how to trade. Same thing here. There's people sitting in look at the charts. This is my bedroom. Walmart pop-up tables and a TV screen connected to my laptop. Who's been there? Broke boy setup. Come on, hands up. No? Randy, you never had a broke boy setup? Christine? Some of us can relate to that. This is what I was doing to stay alive. As I was losing money trading Forex at the time, blowing money. At that point, probably $40,000, $50,000 of my own money gone. This is what kept me alive. So I would work on the weekends. I would DJ, host events, do the thing I'm doing right now, kind of. And that really was the money I funneled into my trading. This picture is super important. If you look at the date, it's 2018. So this is me on a roof in a hotel with my brother going to the Money Show. Does anyone know what the Money Show is? It's like an old person, sorry, older guys. It's like an old person conference where like boomers speak, okay? But at the time, I didn't know any better. So I was like, let's go to the conference. My brother is in finance. He still works in finance, so we went together. I feel like this was a huge turning point for me because from here, I ended up getting the job at T3. T3 is a prop firm. I traded with T3 for about a year and a half. So we went Wall Street, right? classic kind of corny picture. This is me in my broke boy apartment. My wife calls it a rabbit shack. This was the kitchen, living room, everything basically here behind me. I ran live streams for them, and I did videos for them for literally 380 days straight. I think that was an extremely important period in my trading and in my learning, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. By forcing myself to sit here and do videos, even pay for an editor and do all of that and commit to content, it made me review my trading. And that's why I'm sharing this with you guys, because as this process goes on, as my story goes on, I have reviewed and studied my own trading almost more than I've traded live markets. And I think that's a huge thing I can share with you as far as like, oh, I want to make more money. If you're not reflecting and reviewing, doing video reviews even, you're leaving money on the table. Who here has enough confidence to say, like, if I pulled up your TradeZella right now, you've got good trade recaps and good trade reviews? Who's confident in their journaling? Hands high. Okay, so again, look around. Those are people you might want to get with if you're not doing that. Who is doing video reviews? Here, 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 here. Are you posting them on YouTube or just for yourself? YouTube? Yeah? Yourself? YouTube. Okay. Get them on YouTube. Put them out. Put yourself out for the feedback. Like, what's the worst that happens? Patrick Whelan's going to call you short? Short Kings, bro. Okay, cool. That guy. Do what's better for you. And I think getting the feedback from the majority of the silent people that will never say something negative or positive until you put out those videos, it's extremely valuable. So this was me literally running this live streaming room for 6 hours a day, every day. It was awful. I'll tell you, I was smoking a lot of joints because I was stressed the fuck out. It was really hard to trade Forex in front of people for 6 hours a day. But what do you think it did? It taught me a lot. Who remembers? Was anyone here with me? Anthony? Yep, I knew it. Ryan? Yep. So some of you remember this. The Silver FX room is what it was called. Remember that? That, again, was a huge learning experience for me. Being able to, I don't want to say that, forcing myself to show up every day and take trades in front of people, man. That's why when you guys come on stream now and you go, dude, streaming trading is hard. I go, I don't even remember it being hard because I did that every day from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. And now I left T3, started ASFX with my wife, and we've done 13 of these seminars. This was the first one we ever did. Some of you actually are in here. Ryan, you're in here somewhere, dude. If you've been to multiple seminars, you've been here. This was COVID. That's why there's only 4 people. This is March after COVID hit. Still got it done. Miami, Tampa, Ryan Holland right there. There he is. He's in real life, he's here. Another Miami. More Tampa, Miami again. Tampa. This was a retreat we did where we had people stay in a house and we traded together for a couple of days. And then we get into the big ones. We did London 1 and London 2. Thomas, you're in here somewhere with long hair right there. Look at him. Dude, we couldn't even find you yesterday because now you're like monk mode and like you look so different. And then we get to Dallas. This was earlier this year. Mr. James is here. Randy's here. A bunch of you are in here because now you showed up to this one. So now we'll get back to the beginning. The doing the hard thing. Whether it's the videos, whether it's the journaling, trading in itself is extremely difficult, right? Would we all agree? Does anyone in here actually think trading is easy? Maybe like the day-to-day of it sometimes, like if Isaac hits a nasty trade and he's done by 9:15 or whatever, then it looks easy. But you don't get to that point without doing what I like to think of as like the Kobe stuff. Being in the gym at 4 in the morning when the game's at 3 in the afternoon. Committing to doing difficult things because you know that they will reward you. Not because you're going to get the pat on the back from your wife or the pat on the back from the boyfriend or the husband. You're doing it because it's for you. And I think what I found over the last 6 years in building my brand and building my business is I believed in myself when no one else really did. And I was willing to commit to doing things that I thought would lead me to greatness, even when I knew people wouldn't understand. When I would miss family events, when I would not talk to certain family members, that's hard. Has anyone in here had to cut somebody off because they didn't support them in trading? Is anyone else in that same boat? No? Most of you are got super supportive families. That's nice. So, what I like to remind myself of every day is this quote. Greatness is not for everybody. Do you agree or disagree with that statement? Come on. Agree. You're all here because there's some sense of self-belief. Even if you're in the back of the room playing on your phone right now, tuning me out, you're here because you believe in yourself to some extent, right? So now I ask you guys, who believes in themselves enough to be great? I saw hands there first. One of the oldest guys in the room put his hand up. Come on. Who believes in themselves to be great and accomplish something that 90% of people are going to lose money doing? Better. We'll get sound later, maybe. You guys got mouths? We'll get sound later. So now, just a couple of things. I recently took a payout with Top 1 Futures. I think that's a huge win. Shout out to Clay in the back on the successful launch of Top 1 Futures. I know Joey also took a payout already. Isaac, we're waiting. Tanner, we're waiting. Evan, Zach, we're waiting. Thank you. Also taken payouts with Tradeify. Got funded with Top Step March 17th, 2024. So Futures is relatively new to me. As you can see here, anybody remember these companies? Throwback, right? I mean, look at the date on that. That is 2022. That's 2021, right? So funding and getting funded has been a thing that I've been focused on, but also helping other people do it. So before we get into the trading today, I just want to show you a couple of people that are just like me and just like all of you. They're nobodies. We're all nobody, except those of us that think we can be great. Collins from Nigeria in the Black Shirt Club took his first payout with us last week. Evan's student, Nick Jocelyn, look at this. Best day was April 8th, $82,000 on 41 funded accounts. Unbelievable. Yeah, you can clap for that. Give Nick a... Craziest thing is before he joined the Black Shirt Club, I thought he was dead. He literally was in the hospital. I was worried he was going to die, and we were going to have our first death in the Black Shirt Club. And then he comes, and within 3 weeks, this happens. But he also has a lot of trading experience, so big win for Evan. Julio, who was supposed to be here but can't make it, took his first payout with us a couple of weeks ago. This is end of March. Big dog himself. Got to give Mark a shout out. He was at the last seminar. Everybody loved Mark. Mark took a $15,000 payout last month. Another one of Evan's students, Troy, $1,300 on the day here, but look at that month. How much would you pay for a month like that? Where we start the bidding at? $1,000? Another one. This is Derek. Derek was amazing because Derek's taken payouts from multiple firms. I'll give you a little thing about a couple of these guys so far. They all trade completely differently. So what does that mean? There's no one path to payouts, and that's why I'm showing you this. Also, you'll see with Derek trying multiple firms, being willing to be like, I don't know if I like my funded futures. Let's try whatever that is, next gen. Randy, first payout a couple of weeks ago. Give Randy a round of applause. Mark again here, personal capital. Rebecca getting her payouts. Got to give Rebecca some love for sure. So you see, payouts are what we do, right? Not every day, not every week, but payouts are what we're focused on. So if you're here, that's what a lot of this conversation is going to be over the next 2 days. Does that sound good? Thank you. Does that sound good to everybody else except the front row? Good. Now, we're going to talk a lot about VWAP. Is it VWAP or VWAP? VWAP, hand up. VWAP. There ain't no VWAP. I don't want that WAP. Keep your WAP to yourself. But I get DMs like this all the time. It's VWAP, not VWAP. Man, suck, bro. If you like VWAP, please buy Brian's book. That's all I'm going to say. Just buy the book. Who here has the book? Beautiful. Who would recommend the book? Right, so if you like what you hear over the next 2 days, buy the damn book. 2 more slides, then we're going to get into trading. This is like 4 bullet points, 8 bullet points that I feel like I can sum up my entire 10 years of trading in. So your job is to make money, not to know where the market is going, and definitely not to catch the entire move. You'll see that in a lot of the trades we talk about. Number 2, change your beliefs. Challenge your beliefs. Are they helping you make more money? We talked about this at the last seminar, so I didn't want to harp on it too much, but audit your circle. Audit the people that are around you. Audit the things that you're operating under a day-to-day basis. I mean, you could take this conversation it's a podcast in itself, right? Like, how do you even talk to your spouse about money? How do you plan your future when it comes to finances? How are you seeing, feeling, and interacting with money? That's what I'm talking about here. What's the old saying? Money is the root of all, what? Evil. Dude, think about that, though. So when you talk about challenging your beliefs, money is the root of all evil. Does anyone actually believe that? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Now, number 3, this is super important. Y'all did this already, so big up. Get around people who have what you want. And especially as you start doing better, Don't stop doing that, because then you're the richest guy in a room full of poor people. You got to keep paying to get yourself around other people that are going to not only challenge your beliefs, but help level you up in general. You normally, anyone in here that's probably over 30 will agree with me, you normally end up paying for stuff like even coming to an event like this, thinking you're going to learn about trading, and you end up meeting somebody and doing business with somebody, and it creates this huge opportunity for you that if you were closed off, if you weren't willing to get around people who have what you want, you ain't getting that opportunity. With me on that? Green days lead to payouts. Being right doesn't matter. Does anyone question what I'm saying here? Do you understand what I'm saying? Being right, I know SPY is going to move higher. I know ES is going to move higher today. Cool, bro. No one cares. Like, no one, I'm not being funny. It sounds funny, but no one cares. If Nick called it to the exact tick that it was going to move, no, did you make money, Nick? That's the question. So I don't care if you're right. I don't care if you can call the market. I care if you're green. Why? Because green days lead to payouts. It's not that complicated. It sounds super stupid, actually, when I'm saying it out loud. But what happens when you're in a green trade? That could be compounded, like Nick just said, compounded to a payout. You stay in it a little longer because you hope you can get a little more out of her. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we want to kind of rewire it. What are you laughing at? You know what I'm talking about. You did it last night. So let's break free of the rules. We talked about this word rule at the last seminar. It's a rule that you live under. Who here, when they got into trading, thought that indicators were bullshit? Did anybody believe that indicators did not work, James? I did. I thought EMAs, everybody convinced me nothing would work. But as you can see, with VWAP, if you know how to use it, indicators definitely can work. How about, don't tell ICT, I talked about it, but there's no secret algo running the markets. Are we all operating under that assumption, or do some of you think there is a secret algorithm running the biggest global financial markets in the world? Yeah? Strategy hopping is okay, too, if you're self-aware. Zach, we talked about this before. Saying, like, this VWAP thing is just not working for me. I need to go do volume profile. I want to try that. It's calling to me. That's self-aware strategy hopping. That's not today I'm going to buy this EMA, tomorrow I'm selling that RSI, and then Friday I'm going to do volume. Like, that's ridiculous. Everybody with me on that? Give me a head nod. Strategy hopping is okay until you find what you like. Last point, becoming a better loser is going to be difficult. There's just no way around it. That's probably the hardest part about trading, is learning how to take losses and walk away. Who struggles with that? All right, so now I'm going to point to who doesn't have their hand up. I'm going to say liar, 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 because we all do. No one got into this business thinking they would be a loser. And no one definitely got into this business thinking, I'm going to be the best trader by being the best loser. But that's the framework we want to operate under. Because if I can get you to not have tilt days and not have red days, like Nick just said a minute ago, what ends up happening? Compound some green, take some motherfucking payouts. Everybody with me on that?